Hey, hello friends, welcome. Thanks for joining me. This is going to be a very brief broadcast. I had promised yesterday that I would show how to clean my good friend, the Rapidograph pen. I'm going to do this right here at my desk. Often I will do this at the bathroom sink down the hall, but I can do it here all right with the tissues, pick up the mess. I have a little spray bottle here. And I'll just dump this right out. Let's just start making a mess right off the bat. This, of course, is the reservoir that holds the ink, or in this case, the paint. And in my life, I call these Kleenex, and I call these Q-tips. Just like most Americans, even though in both cases those are trademark names. But most people, I think, do the same as I do. So there, I've cleaned out the reservoir. Just set that off to the side. Now comes the fun part. Let's take this thing apart. Of course, I've still got the lid on it. And this is a size 00 or 0.30 millimeter. And if my memory serves me correctly, the Rapidograph pen company says, "Oh no, you never need to take this apart." Well, I don't know what utopian goofball planet they live on, but the thought of owning a Rapidograph pen and never having to take a pen apart, I mean, I don't know. That is just I do believe I read that somewhere. What's it comparable to? I don't know. It's kind of comparable to, like, on the bag of charcoal, it says, "Be sure to wear protective goggles and clothing and fireproof clothing when using our product." I don't know. It's just kind of over consumer protectionist goofyism. Anyway, of course you have to take this thing apart, no matter what. I mean, that's just crazy. And I've been using Rapidograph pens for over 40 years, and there's never been one that I haven't taken apart. Okay, now you take out this little piece of plastic and set that down carefully, and once again pick up the Q-tip and just clean out this. Everything needs to be cleaned out. Whoops, and water will do for most of it. If any of these components have dry ink or dry paint on them, then you would use denatured alcohol. Now, this obviously is not the container that the denatured alcohol came in. It's just a container that I use right here. I have at every desk, every drawing table I have has a little bit of denatured alcohol container in it. Okay, now here is the important guts of the matter. Can I say it that way? Do you see that wire? I think you can see it. There you go. Very, very fine wire. And I'm going to spray that so that doesn't dry out any more than necessary. And here is the hard part. Here's the part that needs cleaning. And again, a Q-tip is a great tool. Now you probably didn't see that, but let me do that again. I can't do it in slow motion. But I've just filled up this little chamber with water, and when I push the Q-tip into it, watch here, the dark green water is going to squirt out of that hole. First it dripped, and then it sprayed out with great force. Okay? That is good news, because that means my pen is not plugged up. By the way, the Kohnor company, the people that make the Rapidograph pen, they do indeed sell a chemical pen cleaner, some kind of soap, and I'm sure it works just fine and wonderfully. I have bought it. I have used it rarely. It doesn't work as well as denatured alcohol, in my opinion. But now, the thing you do have to watch out for denatured alcohol is that denatured alcohol is a solvent for acrylic paints, which also means that it's a solvent for acrylic plastic. So many plastics can be damaged by denatured alcohol. Okay, so this is now, and we were lucky, this is perfectly clean. I should ask the question, what do you do if it's clogged up? Well, sometimes you can take the wire, and this is, again, this requires extreme carefulness, and I'm not even going to try to make myself get this, but with extreme care, you could push the wire in backwards. Now, this is just largely a personality thing. If you, like me, have the kind of personality, if you are just naturally, there, I got it in. If you're just naturally careful, you're coordinated, I guess, you're gentle, you're patient, you're good, you have a Swiss watchmaker personality, you can do this. If you don't even try it. Don't even think about trying it. You can't do it. So it's a personality. Okay, so now I'm dropping this back in, and this is important. Wouldn't you know, it went right in the first time. Usually it doesn't go in. You have to tap this until it does drop in. And again, that I know that is until what drops in what, until that little wire drops into down the middle of this point. And usually you have to tap it like that for several seconds before it goes in. Then you put this lid back in. It's a snap-on thing. Little click, and there. Can you hear that? Let me put this by the microphone. I shook it over there. That's working very well. Then we put this back on, and all these parts I as you saw, I sprayed out with water, and then if necessary I brushed out with a Q-tip, and there we go. There's a perfectly clean pen. The reason I'm cleaning this is not because it wasn't working. In fact, there's that rattle again, which shows me that it's working perfectly well. The reason I cleaned it is because I'm changing the color of ink. I'm done with green for just a little while. I'm going to be working on this girl's flesh tone, her face and her arms. Let me give you an update. So there's the illustration as it is right now. The top part is very close to complete. I'm happy with the values. I'm happy with the colors. I will be tweaking it. A little more variety I would like in this section here. But generally speaking, quite happy with how that looks. Let me zoom in here real tight so you can see. Do you see these branches right here? In fact, even that, I'm not sure you can see that one on the camera. Maybe you can. That one. That actually occurs way back here on page 6, those skinniest lines. They show up very, very, very faintly, which of course is what I want. I want it to look like distant trees there in the background. And in fact, if they come across too strongly, which I feel like some of those are, I can even come in here and again do some scratching to create more of a cross-hatching technique, if I so desire. So I'm going to work shortly here on this girl's face. So I want to put a neutral brown, light brown in this pen, and I'll begin working on her shortly. So the only parts I have left of this illustration really are the girl, a little bit on her jeans are very close, a little bit on her shirt, and all of the flesh tone. And then this of course down here is not at all finished, and some of this is not quite. Anyway, this is 90% finished. Hallelujah. It's been